Honey.
God, give us grace to accept with serenity the things that cannot be changed, courage to change the things which should be changed, and the wisdom to distinguish the one from the other. Living one day at a time, enjoying one moment at a time, accepting hardship as a pathway to peace, may you guide us as we serve our community. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Wheelan?
Yes.
Curling?
Yes.
Clevens?
Yes.
Beck?
Here.
Whittick?
Present.
Okay. Purpose of this meeting, special council meeting, is to discuss the appointment to fill the vacated council seat with term ending 12/31/17 by Mr. Fox's resignation. So I will open it with the fact that Carol Feehan, Dan Butts, Larry Souls, Tracy Wise, Eric Short, Adam Froelich, Tim Moore, and Gene Kretz all submitted, either stopped in or made a phone call stating that they were interested. And from here, I guess we could go several different ways. We can discuss each one individually, or we can discuss them as a group, or I open that up to the floor, however you would like to approach it.
One thing I'd like to say is, I mean, this is nice. This is nice, there's that many. And we need to make it clear to whomever we do not pick, that by all means run. There's 2 seats vacant. Run, you know, that they still have an opportunity to get on cards.
Thank you or something.
Yes, yeah. And I just think that's important to let them know.
Okay.
On that, however you guys want to tackle it, or you just want to throw a couple of names up and vote, or that's another.
Yeah.
I would assume that, hey, and I'll kind of echo what Carol was saying, it was nice to see this many people interested. I don't know that there's been that in the past, even when there's been seats open, but it's been extremely nice to see this many.
I don't know.
But to chip to your other question, I'm going to assume that we all kind of have a few names in our head already preconceived. I mean, we'd be crazy not to.
Sure.
So, however we want to do it, whether we want to throw some names out, whether we want to talk about each one, I'm open to anything. I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Me too. I mean,
Do you want to go like the top 2 and? I'd like to see somebody new, that's never done before. That's the way
and I
feel
would
too.
say that. I
Yeah.
definitely.
I agree with
Okay.
that.
I always think, you know, it's like our national government. Some of those people have been in there forever. It's time. It's good to see some new thinking. Maybe they see something that we've sat here
Yeah,
for
we've never seen
4
it,
years and
never
didn't
heard.
notice it.
Yeah, but George Washington is finally starting to get the hang of it.
Yeah, some of those I believe are about that age. So I would say that would take Carol and Dan off.
We take Carol, we take Dan, we take Eric Short,
Eric.
we take Gene Kretz out
Yeah.
by your statement,
I mean,
so now we're down to 4.
If we want to go there.
That's the way I was looking at when I first seen the list. That was my same choice. And I'm like Rick. I mean, it's great that they put the name in.
Oh.
They can still run in November.
Yep.
But
Yep.
I'm like, I agree with Rick 100% that we need some new voices in here. That might help.
I agree. Okay. So that's down to Larry, Tracy, Adam, and Tim. Now, I have to admit, I don't know Adam. Not that that matters, I'm just saying.
I don't know him either.
He is a very level-headed, hard-working individual. He is a firefighter, and I would not hesitate to go into a burning building. I would expect him to have my back and I'd have his.
Okay.
It's politics.
Yes, he's quite political. He's not afraid to speak his mind. However, I would put 3 firefighters on this council.
And I was gonna ask about that.
I don't know.
Is that a good or bad thing?
Yeah.
And I don't know that.
If
I'm
we
just
say
saying.
no to him, okay, is he gonna run in November? He could be also
Well,
voted in too, so.
granted,
In that situation, it's a little bit different. You know, we look at 3 firemen. Well, I was one at one time too, on with both of you.
Yes.
And I think it's a little bit different if you would run in the fall and get voted in, that's different than if we vote.
And thus knowingly creating that situation.
That's
Correct.
true.
And I'm not
That's a
saying
good
it's a
point.
negative thing.
No.
I'm not saying for or against Adam right now.
We don't,
However, that, I think we have to weigh both pros and cons.
we don't frequently find ourselves voting on fire-related items, but that would, I think,
That'd be
create a
true.
problem.
Yeah, yeah.
That-
It
That's
would.
true.
Because you would only have
With the
3
mayor-
votes
with the
then,
mayor, you don't
and
cast
you
the
wouldn't
vote.
have a
You
majority that
can't,
way.
not if you abstain,
Not the
because it's
mayor.
not a tie.
Yeah.
You're abstaining, you're not voting.
Yeah, so then America can't even
Yes.
break it.
So you just
Which
end up
would
with
be
a
3,
3,
but still.
which you'd never get a,
Yeah, so-
You'd
You
never
shouldn't
get
get a
a
tie. If you get a tie with
motion.
3,
Yeah.
you wouldn't get a motion.
get a tie with 3, you're in trouble.
So it could theoretically create an issue if there was ever a fire department
I see
related
what you're
situation.
saying.
So I agree with Joey in that particular instance, that if it was created through the voters, is different than us intentionally creating the situation.
What scenario would involve fire department being voted from the council?
I don't know. We already have a lot of agreements already in place, you know, for,
I don't think, there's only been maybe a couple that we've had, since in the 4 years.
I can remember one is about it. In 4 years.
hydrant fittings.
Yeah.
I don't know, that pops into my mind, but that's established.
Yeah, that's one that came to mind, and I,
Did we agree to run your water line across the street?
Oh, yes, we're making progress. It's kind of back in our, but actually, I guess what we're waiting on right now is a forage hydrant.
It's back in my code.
Okay.
it's back, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, well, yeah, we got a line.
But didn't we talk about that in council?
We did.
Oh, yes, we
Yeah,
did,
yeah.
yes.
There
we
was
did.
that,
I thought you were asking
Internet,
where we stood, but
Oh,
we're
I'm sorry,
making
water
progress.
breaks.
Oh, the internet, yeah, we talked about the internet.
I mean, there was-
So there's some minor,
There was, those are good things, I mean.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing out of line.
Nothing
But
we would-
did anything come to vote? I mean, do we have to vote on any of that stuff, or was it just discussed?
You have to vote,
We
because
voted.
it's
We have
money.
to vote.
We have to vote for some
It's money to another entity,
so it could be.
Well, the
I
issue
can-
there would be, at least in my eyes, would it be unethical in whatever we were voting on for firefighters to have a say? Just because it deals with the fire department doesn't necessarily make it wrong for you to vote.
You could actually make the vote for the citizens, I mean, you're not voting for fire department.
Yeah.
You know,
And-
as long
and
as it's
sometimes-
not a benefit to you
personally.
as firefighters, I wouldn't see that there would be an ethical or
Sure, it's
legal
just-
issue.
It's easier to, if you abstain, you know there's no question, but you've got a very good valid point there. I don't know if that fall back to the ethics people, or if it fall to the attorney general, I don't know who would make that.
If you would, like, ask the village to pay for internet service, or extend a line beyond, like, we had talked about, you know, because, see, now the village is, when we talked originally and had set up from the old council was, I'm just going as an example here now, like the fire hydrant, you know, was asked by me, to me, and council approved that, way back in the day, that, hey, can we have a fire hydrant over on the other side of the building? You have a problem with that? And, you know, because it'd be easier because we have, you know, a parking area than to try to block the road. And that seemed reasonable for the village. It would have been on village right away. We would have just moved one in there. It would have been the village's hydrant. So, you know, and we're capable of doing that. We'd do an open cut and put it in there, and it would be our hydrant. then it came, and Bob thought of the idea, and it did seem unreasonable to me. How about if we take it inside, once it gets off the right of way? And these are some of the things that I'm just working through on my end of it. Whose hydrant is it, who's, you know, now it comes into that. So the council, in my opinion, I believe they approved that to go beyond, above and beyond that. But, so those things, when you and I talked about, there would have been a conflict possibly, you know, and then therefore you guys would have had to abstain because it's spending tax dollars that's off the right of way, whether it's good, bad, or ugly, and then you wouldn't have a vote. It'd be the only thing that I can see, things like that. Other than that, I don't see where there would be a conflict.
So I would think at this point, we're not ruling tonight, but we do have,
With that concern, right, those concerns are there.
How long have the other, besides Mary Souls, the three other gentlemen, how long they lived in the area? Not that-
Tracy's been
Tracy.
here quite a while. Tracy went to school. Tracy's been on the school board. Maybe still.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
No, he wouldn't be able to do both.
No, I don't, that's true.
I've known Tracy for years.
Yeah, Tracy's,
And
I
Tim,
think he thinks things through and is pretty level-headed.
Yeah, Tim, he lives down by you.
yeah, he's,
Um,
I think they've been here, I don't really know. I know Beth was born and raised here.
Yeah. I know her. Jim,
She was a firefighter back in your time, wasn't she?
I think so.
Yes. Yes, she was a
Yes.
firefighter for
Yeah.
quite a few years.
I know he just finished his bachelor's in education with a teaching degree.
Oh, yeah.
And is currently looking for a position.
Does that mean he may be leaving the area?
No, I
I
don't think so.
doubt
Beth
it.
is-
She teaches up here. So.
Oh, okay.
Beth is pretty solid here, and her parents live on Road Street, and, yeah, I wouldn't, that great house on Road
Yeah.
Street.
Anyway, yeah, and with her teaching here,
Yeah, I wouldn't
I
foresee
I
it,
would doubt it.
but anybody, I mean, any of us could.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
move tomorrow.
Yeah, Mr. Fox.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
You never
Yeah.
know.
Pretty, Tim's solid. He's a solid individual. And when I kind of go through the names, I look at ones I can trust. I'm looking at ones that would read whether I'm here or not, and kind of pull people together. Tim, I would say absolutely in those
I
areas.
think we want somebody, I would want them, yeah, whether I'll be here or not, don't know, but that would not be willing to go on and speak their mind and be able to understand what everybody else is saying as well, which I think any one of these four will do that. From what you guys are telling me on the one, I don't know.
Any other
We're seeing
questions on
anything
that?
on 10 so far? 1 and 2?
I have no issues with,
I have no
with
issue.
Tim.
I have no issue with Tracy either.
No.
No. We got 3.
Then Larry, next one.
And personally, even though I know I don't have a vote, and I know it's wrong, so you know what I'm going to
It's
say.
okay.
Good for you, Dan.
Huh?
Good for you. I'm glad.
I think it would be appropriate to put Mr. Souls in there so that he could realize exactly why we make the decisions we do and how we make them, even though he doesn't follow the rules.
I could almost see newspaper ads and or newspaper headlines that he's the lone sane voice and there's 5 crazy people around the table preventing him from doing what he's done. But nonetheless, you have a very valid point. Let them give him a taste of it, let him say.
You do, and I guess along with what you ended there with, even though he doesn't follow the rules. I can
In this
assure you
particular
there's a lot
case,
of
he
other
would have
people.
to.
I can assure you there's a lot of other people in this village that don't follow the rules
Well, yeah,
So,
that's true.
if you wanted to pick
Yeah.
and sort, and we shouldn't just sort one.
No is the instigation.
I know,
part.
it is, no, I understand, and you know, and here's the other, Larry is one you can talk right to, and you can tell him he's an asshole,
Oh, yeah.
and he will agree and move on,
Yep.
and you're fine. And I prefer somebody straight up, so.
Well, there's days when he's refreshing and days when he's a pain.
Yeah, yeah. He's not stupid, that's the.
No,
that's
it seems to be wasted somehow.
Well, I understand.
But actually, Mayor, that's a valid point. I think in a lot of ways, and we all know that he's able to sit up around the coffee table in the mornings. We know that he's able to kind of get people ear a little bit. That's not a, and like Terry said, he's not stupid. Does he push? Absolutely. That's not a bad thing.
He has some redeeming qualities that would be good in politics.
And and we all have learned by being honest. We've learned some things that we probably sat back and wondered too sometimes. Why don't you guys just do it this way? Well, there's reasons why. Do we all like the reasons? No.
Thoughts from the other two?
I'm sorry, I'm not a Larry Sills fan. I agree with some of your statements. I don't think he forgets as fast as you might think, or whoever said that.
Well, I'm not saying he forgets.
Oh, no.
You know,
He'll never forget.
Yeah.
No.
And
You're wrong and he'll know.
and if he keeps,
And
and he's
neither do I.
constantly pushing the issues, is that what we want? I mean, is that good for the village? I don't know. If it comes down to that, that's fine, and maybe he would change, but I don't see Larry changing.
I'd almost would look at Larry as one of those where if he's elected by the people, we make it work, but do we want to appoint him?
If the people would want him,
The people speak and they say, yeah, we want him representing our interests, sure, bring him on board. But-
And we would say that in extension.
Yeah.
well, you gentlemen know the other three, so I'm sorry, I don't know any of them. Unless I've met them and I just don't remember them. So
Well-
I would think on what you guys say.
Just a little segue to what you said there about not caring for him. The only thing about that to me is, I don't care, I don't like you. If I'm gonna work with you, I'm gonna work with you.
Sure, we're working.
This
together.
is for the town.
Yeah.
I don't care if I don't like Joey. So I don't like him, we're gonna be able to, I'm not gonna put that in there, because I may not like, and there are a couple on here that have me not ruled out that I don't particularly care for, but I would have worked with you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I'm not just,
No, that's fine.
you got a valid point there, but I just, do I like him? No, I absolutely don't like some of the things he says and does. But a lot of people don't like some of the things I say and do. so.
Yeah. Well, if your heart's in the right
So-
place.
Right, if you got, to me, if all of us here, whoever is at this chair, has this village at heart and the people that elected them, that's what we're at. I sound like a politician, for Christ's sakes. But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, that's who elected us, that's what we're here to do.
If we,
No, go ahead.
if we get this person straightened out, and then we've got some coming in the fall, you know, and if we can keep building this stronger and stronger, and keep
Yeah.
making headway in the village,
Yeah.
I think
That's
we're on the
what we're
right
at.
track.
I do too.
But just off the record for just a little bit, I was in the bank and talked to Sharon, and I've been kidding her about the picnic tables that used to be there. I said, boy, it'd be nice to be sitting in the sun on picnic tables. And she still has thought that we first made her take them away, which I don't believe
No,
we did.
They were never in
They were
violation.
correct.
They were-
I told her that
They were
100
never
times. And she still has, they still don't know that we have kind of new policies about stuff on the sidewalk, you know, just people's thinking.
Oh,
I
yeah.
said, we have new rules now,
Right.
give us a chance.
Yeah.
And it's like, she won't,
No, she won't.
do it. It's like, good gosh.
And
I know her.
like they said, those picnic tables weren't in violation
They
before
were
anyhow.
never needed.
Never
to be.
were.
That was,
They
my
should.
understanding was a solidarity move.
Yes.
What I understood too was they were protesting the fact that not everyone could put a mouse in the egg.
Yeah.
Well, where do you think we are?
Well, I'm just going to throw this out, I think, from what I'm hearing anyhow, no negatives against anybody, but I would say the top two are now Tracy and Tim. Adam definitely has all the potential in the world, but there is the one conflict that we have to at least entertain. And in my mind, that brings it down to the other two.
See, I had it split 2 and 2, and I had Larry and Tracy at the top and Adam and Tim next. What were you guys' thoughts?
Well, we are forced to acknowledge Adam being a firefighter and the uncertainty of where that would place us, so I'm afraid I would have to agree. As much as I think
Yeah,
he did
as
a
we all
wonderful job,
think,
but
scratch
we need-
him
Yeah,
as
we
well.
need, if he's elected by the voters,
Well, yeah,
then
that's,
hopefully,
Yeah, I agree with that.
I agree. I agree, so we'll scratch him.
because that's a situation, that would then be a situation created by the voters, rather than by us.
So are we scratching Adam?
I think so, Julie.
I think-
I think it's valid, and if he got elected, then we do, like
Well,
Bob said.
yeah, and it's.
And then we
it's
make a few
voters'
phone
vote.
calls and find out, can we still vote, or at what point can we not vote? We just always abstain
Why not?
for
Yeah,
convenience.
you have, right,
To
right.
make it black and white, clear.
Maybe we need to iron that out anyway, with two of you on here, do we?
True,
Do you have to do that? I agree with you, Adam. You have to, in most instances.
I don't think as long as there's no personal gain for the individuals voting, I don't think there's an ethical issue, but
Well, I was more like, along your thinking, but I was more like Larry and Tim. Well, no way we could do
What,
this.
what'd you have on your top two?
Go ahead.
Your top two? I was leaning towards Tracy and Tim.
Yeah, plus two.
Tracy and I'm kind of torn between the other two.
Me too. Yeah.
You know, like I say, it's careful what you wish for. Very. I'm not opposed to that idea, but a certain amount of reservation. Diversity's good. And there'd be, you know, I always said that if somebody gets a crazy, weird idea, even myself, there's 5 other people around the table who control the situation.
Let's do it this way.
Very true.
Let's do it this way. Let's go name by name and say yay or nay and do a total.
Want to do that, or you want to just
Be easier.
pass out some slips of paper, and have 3
Put all the
names
names
on?
on and.
1,
yes
2,
and no.
3.
Put 1, 2, 3, and you'll put, that's who you're voting for.
Take the top two.
If you want, if you want 1, 2, 3, you could even go the one with the least amount. So if you had Bill, since Bill's not on here, as everyone had Bill as number 1, that'd be 5 points. Or if you had,
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Can I interject, gentlemen?
Sure.
absolutely.
Beth and I spoke with the solicitor just to see how do you do this?
Yeah.
And we were both on speakerphone, and we said, okay, now they're gonna get together, how do they gotta go about it? I said, okay, discuss candidates, then someone needs to make a motion, and it has to be, they can't have like a secret ballot or anything else, it's an open meeting, you have to know that who voted for who or whatever. So you make them, if you're all said and done, and you say, like you pick 2 or whatever, someone makes a motion, you second it, if it doesn't pass, then make a motion maybe for the other person or whatever, and if you get a second and that passes, but whatever, you know, just like any other thing.
and we can
Okay.
do that after thing, because we've been doing a motion. This would just narrow it down to the two.
Well, he said you got to deliberate. You want to answer?
Wouldn't that still work?
Deliberate?
Yes.
Don't we have a secret ballot to elect the council
Yeah.
president?
Hmm?
They elect the council president, it's normally a secret ballot, right?
Mhm.
It had been, yeah. I'm telling you what he said.
So if we,
And-
To do,
And we asked him that, he said, well, because that seemed less intrusive to me, where, you know, can't you do, I mean, because.
Well, I would think,
I thought the final,
Yeah, I
like,
would
once they
think that you
decide,
could
they have
do
to have a
an
motion, but I
elimination
think they're allowed to narrow
by
it
that
down.
way,
that's what.
and then the
Well,
final would have to be a motion.
Which would more or less
Okay.
be for approval.
Yeah.
You get down to a name to say, make a motion, this is our new guy.
Yeah, it's
and then what we approve.
So would we want to go down to two people off of the ballot, or off of our vote, or you want to take it down to one? Because we'll make the motion afterwards. And we've all agreed that they, each of them have great qualities. That's a bad. I mean, you're not going to get a perfect person.
No.
No.
For $1,000 a year, you're not going to get a perfect person.
No, no.
Let me
If you do, let
ask
me
a
know.
question here, but
I'll take two.
did you
Imagine
mention
getting that dimensional
that
for
Larry
that
had
one.
come in and said something to where he wasn't as enthusiastic about being on it as when he
No.
first talked to you?
He called and put his name in,
Yep,
and then later he said, well, am I still in the running? And I said, yeah, your name's still on, you didn't tell me not.
okay. I
And
just wanted, I
Yeah.
know we had
Yeah.
spoke about some hesitancy there, so.
Something, I don't know, I haven't heard for sure, but I was told that Mr. Souls would be taking a new job.
Mhm.
Mhm.
That's what he
He
told
is,
me.
teaching.
With that new job, personally, I know what he's gonna go through. And it'll be a lot for him, I guess, his first year of being a teacher, I guess. And maybe he doesn't know what he's in for, I don't know, what you're trying to say?
Mhm.
His schedule is gonna be full, is what I'm
Right.
trying to say.
Mhm.
Been there, done that.
And it may,
Yeah.
and it may, yeah, I was interested in council before I got this teaching job, now I got this teaching job, and it ties you down, so just for what it's worth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there a reason why we could not contact these people?
I have the numbers.
To
Except for I don't
verify
have
that-
Adams, but he was crossed, I have,
You
I do not have Tim Moore.
Mm, no.
Don't have Tim or Adams. You don't have Tim or Adams down
You
there.
have Adams scratched out.
Yeah, in fact, I did.
Yeah,
But we
so
could-
I'm saying of the ones you have, I have Larry's number, I have Tracy's number,
Yeah, Tim. Or not Tim.
I do not have Tim's.
Well, let's, however you want to do with narrowing this
I don't
down,
know.
let's do that.
You could put all three then, if that's what you're doing then, right then.
To what?
They could put all three names down
Represent us.
and see which one are the top two.
To balance things out, or is that
I would
right?
think.
That's what
No, I
that's
mean,
what I said.
it hasn't been.
Write all three names
but it's
down.
run.
I didn't know.
No, that's.
Well, here's 5 slips of paper. Why don't we do a 1, 2, 3?
And this is to get us narrowed down
This is
to
to
two.
at least get us down to 2. If it works that way. Who knows, maybe it'll end up
We're
tied.
gonna put Tracy Wise.
Put number 1,
That's
number 2, number 3 in the order that you would like to see them
Your preference is
As a vote.
being in that seat.
correct.
Okay, gotcha.
And then I will tally that up and see where we stand. Maybe it'll be a unanimous right off the bat and,
Stranger things have happened.
yeah.
Well, yeah, I'll just be a jerk, I would. Just to make your life miserable. Just
We
kidding.
would like to see.
Yes, who would like to see there is one. I mean,
I said you were number one.
yeah, I bet you did.
Twice.
I've been told that before. Take it down the
We'll
list.
go down to two and then we ought to discuss both. I think
Yeah,
again.
why you like her thing.
pluses and minuses towards each.
Right.
And like you've said before, you know, there's,
This used to be a hand.
we got it narrowed down, I think, fairly quick. Some unjustly, some a little more justly, in my opinion.
Yeah.
However,
But I don't know the numbers.
Actually solved a bit of a problem.
It's Michelle Ferguson.
Yeah,
That really helped out.
That
Yeah, it did.
yeah.
but,
I was hoping everybody agreed on
but
that.
the validity of going
Me
through
too.
and saying, let's look at someone that hasn't been on.
Yeah, that's very valuable.
Extremely.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Fresh set of eyes. The first council I was on was so diversified, it was great. I mean, we just had, so we had a range of ages, a range of backgrounds. A
We
lot
did
of
it when I was
different
on
people.
back 76. Yeah.
And you were an appointee or?
And it's nice that,
I was appointee too.
Oh, were you?
Oh, I feel I am.
I remember you.
Please.
Oh,
Actually, Bob
I'm
walked,
so far back.
actually, Bob walked across the yard when I was 7.
Yeah, did I get, who sent it back to me?
you need
Yeah,
something to add
Lee
to it.
called
Something
me
like that.
And said, I'm trying to think
I'm
of
not
his
sure how
name.
that worked. How that works.
Then Lee stepped down.
So what else did we left tonight? We got towns, yeah.
Did you by chance ask the board, call the board of elections and ask about the 50% remaining of an unfulfilled seat?
I've checked on that.
And, because when I got appointed, there were 3 years left, and I had to pull a petition
Yeah,
and
but-
run.
So that's not the way it
You
is
no longer
anymore.
have to,
No,
okay.
whoever
Yeah.
gets it is there till the ending,
And it just changed,
2 years ago?
yeah, that sounds about right. It wasn't that long ago that it changed.
Well,
Okay.
Bob, before you make that announcement,
Sure.
should we, you said something about the phone call. Should that be before you do this, or?
Well, it depends on if you want to just verify that everybody is still,
interested?
I kind of, and I don't know that I would, if I was in your seats, I would like to know that if you are you still
Yeah.
wanting
since they
that
called
position?
in, okay, did you think about it more, and
Yeah.
now you don't want to
Do
be in
we
it?
have all their numbers? though?
Or would we, when we get down to the last person, say, you still want this, if not, we'll go to choice 2.
Right.
Yeah, because if we don't have all the numbers.
And basically stating, we just want to verify before we make a vote, you know, are you still interested? You were at such and such a date, but are you today?
Now, Dan, if you can't, if you don't have that number, or if people aren't home or whatever, Beth and I asked, what happens if that happens?
Okay.
Whether the council says,
This person,
this
and they say
person,
no.
and then they say, you know what, I don't want it. Then he said, you could still,
Go to 2?
yes,
Okay.
Okay,
Now,
we have
and it would still be valid.
Larry, Tracy's, but not Tim's, correct?
Right.
Okay. What if Tim is in the top 2? I'll hit send on my phone and hopefully I get a number for him from there. I don't have Tim's number, I have someone else's that can get it for me.
okay.
Doesn't mean they're gonna answer.
True.
I didn't bring my phone, I've got Beth, I don't have Tim. But I'm assuming,
That probably work.
yeah, that one would be, because I know that Tim had
Look at the
mentioned
file.
to me that he was also considering school board. So,
I did hear that.
He does have a petition out for the vacancy.
For school?
No.
No, for council.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
but he has not traded in, has he?
Tim does?
No.
Yeah, Tim does have a,
Well, he might have, but they're not validated. They're only validated every 2
Yeah.
weeks, so.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Mayor, what do you have?
well, Tracy got the most number ones.
Okay.
You can't be tied because there's 5 of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a tie. Larry got second most number ones,
Okay.
and Tim was a consistent 2.
Okay.
So Larry got some 3s, a couple of 1s, and a 2. Tim was very consistent on the 2s, but he did get a 3 as well. And then Tracy got 3 number 1s, a 2, and a 3.
We wanna add those numbers up.
Well, if you do it that way, it would be Tracy, Larry, Tim. It goes, Tracy 8, Larry 10, Tim 12.
So actually, you threw Tim out.
Say that again.
Tracy would have had 8 because of the number ones. Larry would have had 10. And Tim ended up with 12.
That's not.
That's okay.
It's not the Michigan fight song.
No,
It's not
it's
Michigan.
not.
And yet here we sit at the table together.
Hang on, Snoopy.
Yeah, you talk about diversity. Hey.
So, I mean, if you want to look at that vote from that direction, your top 2 are Tracy and Larry. That's not really a vote, that was a categorization.
Right, that one. Okay.
Those were my original, when we first started talking about, I had, when we had it narrowed down to 4, those were the top 2 that I had.
Go with Tracy, Larry. Call them and see if they're still up to it. All right. Yeah, if you want to do that. Huh?
Make the phone call back.
Shall I say?
Of course, they answer the phone, you say you're still interested, and they're gonna think they just got it. And you say, oh, no, we're just.
Well, start with Tracy.
We had it narrowed down.
Tell them we're narrowing this down.
Have it narrowed down to 2, do you still want to be a yes or no?
Equal up.
I did that for chamber once, and I called Jeffrey.
Hi, Mr. Weiss. This is Beth Reddy here with the Village Hall. Hey, we're just wondering, are you still interested in the council seat? Okay, I'm just checking. We're narrowing down and just want to make sure, okay? All right, thank you.
It's a yes.
It sounded like yes.
That's a yes.
That's good.
Good.
Don't have to dial 1, use the home dial 1 for straight.
Oh, you know, that's number 50.
I didn't bring my phone. It's not attached to me like it is to some people.
You weren't looking at me when
Were you looking at me? Just for the lights on.
Mine's on the table, it's not attached.
Oh, when Rob calls me, it's the other.
I'm waiting on a phone call.
Yeah.
Did you not hear that?
Is 1108 the business number? He gave me 1108, is that the business number?
business number.
Is it?
Oh,
I'm
Larry's?
thinking there,
yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's.
Yeah, Reach Souls Motorsports.
Carrie, you got it, so, yeah.
What was that?
He gave me Souls Motorsports, it's closed.
Oh, 419 572 0122.
Get it, man.
Do I? Yeah.
I don't know. I just said that.
Hello, Mr. Souls? This is Beth Rediger. I'm just checking, are you still interested in the council seat? Okay, that's, just needed an answer. All right, thanks, bye. Bye. He said sure.
Okay.
One
Was
and-
there a measurable amount of enthusiasm? Or was it just
Something
a-
was,
There was a hesitation. He's like,
Right,
who-
I do know he's at Rotary right now. I happen to look at the clock.
oh, well, you didn't know who else was in consideration, I'm not
No,
gonna
no.
say that.
You can watch it.
No. Okay.
That's why I said I just need an answer, I'm not gonna say who we're down to.
No.
Well, I would say since both of your top two are both willing and interested and willing, then I think you're good to go from there. Now it's up to how you wanna, like, on the prelim, Tracy got 3 1s and a 2, Larry got 2 1s, a 2 and 2 3s, and then Tracy also got a 3.
You wanna talk about each of them more, or what are you thinking? I don't know.
I think that would seem logical to kind of do a pro and con. And maybe, as Mr. Whittick said, what's best for the village. You know, pro and con in that regards, instead of whether we like them or not, type thing. And I think there are some people that were on our list that will maybe will end up actually running for council.
Oh, I think,
Nice.
I think,
I hope they all do.
I do too.
I don't see that happening, but
No, but I,
It could.
it could.
How much time is left to pull the petition?
April 5th, or April,
August
yeah,
5th.
August 5th.
August 5th.
Okay, we'll break that down just in case.
So they've got time.
Okay, so you wanna,
You're gonna have to move on.
you can't pull one.
What's that? You can't.
You can't pull one.
I got 3 years to go, but I mean, okay, anyway, well,
All right.
just add or something like that, you know. Let's see, Tracy has stopped and talked to me before on the street about different things, about his drainage issues that we've mopped up, and he was always very, very polite, very matter of fact, firm, but, you know, right to the point. Question our sidewalk ordinance, the dog situation. He was walking down the street, and the dog was chained to a front porch, the leash was long enough that it got to the sidewalk, and he had to take the grass to get away from it, and a variety of things like that. He's observant, he's not afraid to speak up and say, you know, that he thought something needed attention and whatnot. Larry, he's not afraid to say all kinds of stuff, so.
Yeah.
So I guess, you know, either one of them definitely would
Speak their mind.
speak their mind. I think both of them are local products of the village of Stryker, the school system.
Tracy grew up out by Lockport.
Well, Tracy's been on school council.
Oh, yeah, Tracy's been school board.
Yeah, he did 2 years, or 2 terms as school board, didn't he?
Maybe 8
He
years.
likes,
Think-
he likes strikers, so.
Go ahead, what's your,
He could possibly be a bridge to,
Okay.
To school board?
say what?
he could be a bridge to the school board as far as
Yeah.
for interaction, cooperation, that type of stuff.
1 lane road.
Well, I would say very similar to you. Tracy,
And then that road's got a sharp bend in it.
I'll wait for these guys to find people.
Is this Tracy when he's a forklift guy?
No, 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 no,
No, that
no.
one, is it EDC?
Oh, that, keep going further up. You're thinking, the otherwise had the,
Yeah, and that is
Further
for
up.
us, but no, it's okay. Anyway,
Yeah.
I would say Tracy, you're right, he was on, I know, at least 2 terms on the school board. Never heard any real good or bad as far as stuff from him. I think it was good, or about him. He stopped me numerous times for road street repair and some of these things that he's been wondering about. Seems to have the community at heart.
Well, to me, some of the questions he's asking, apparently he stopped talking to you
Yeah.
also, and probably maybe some other folks around the table. He's interested, or he keeps an eye on the
Yeah.
community, he's
Yeah.
interested in this.
Yeah. And Larry, I would say too, as a community at heart, I know he wants more business, he wants to see more things in town, more factories, that sort of thing. towards that or discourage him. Knows a lot of people. Could be a plus to know people that could come in here. I'm torn between the two. So. You, Rex?
I'm torn too.
Joe, any comments?
And I would say Tracy probably hasn't ran before because he lived outside of town.
Correct.
Yeah,
So-
a lot of
so-
churches.
So he just moved back into town. Like I said, I've known Tracy for many years, rode the same bus with him, so it's been a while. Close with him, absolutely not, but very familiar with him. I would say he's very level-headed. He's not going to be afraid to say, here's my thoughts, but I think it's going to be one of those quiet, middle of the road, not going to get overly excited, not going to be extremely passive, just going to, here's where I'm at. On the other side, Larry, I think he has some great ideas. He has some that are out in left field as well. But I think the difference between the two, even though he may have some more far-fetched ideas or thoughts, he may be a little more of a driver than what Tracy is. I think they both want the community to succeed. I just don't know.
He's always thinking out of the box.
Mhm.
Yeah, bigger things. Can you see that? I'm not sure. Maybe he is.
I think Tracy's very level-headed, very level-headed.
Yeah, I would say. Right.
I don't know Mr. Wise. Larry, I've had discussions with him, and sometimes it seems to me like he's always finding fault, even before I was on. He's always finding fault with things in the village, and it's like a negative thing. It's always kind of bothered me. It's like, you know, you look around and even a few years ago, there's always been good things.
Yeah.
A little slow, but
Yeah.
Larry seems to have a negative attitude when you talk about, well, why can't we do this? Because, but he has some good ideas, and,
Right.
you know, will they fly? You know, he's asked me 100 times, why can't we get industry in this town?
We can't snap our fingers. We got blamed for no grocery store around the world, or we gotta fund the grocery store with taxpayer
Right.
dollars to make it work.
Right.
Can't be done.
And I tried to explain to him, my theory was that there's no way that, you know, in big factories, you can't compete against Holiday City or Bryan, you know, and we gotta take what little bit we can get and make it work.
Mhm.
And it looks like we got a couple new ones coming again. I think the ice cream shop's gonna make it.
I don't know, but
But I've been trying to get him to look at the other building, and if you look at the other building, I think the health department will work with him, but not where he's at. So, but
all right.
My final thoughts would be whomever sits in that chair represents the village, and I would look at, personally anyhow, I would look at professionalism and what face do I want the village to have. Which, you know, on his good days, I think Mr. Scholes can present himself quite well and articulate himself quite well. But I think there is a majority where it's more negative than positive. Mr. Weiss, the only public items that I've seen him associated with was the school board. I've sat in on multiple school board meetings, and there again, he always had a voice and was articulate. So I think, you know, it just depends on what you want for the village.
Let me ask this, and I don't know if anyone knows or not. Was Tracy on the school board when we had the road issue?
Yes.
But he's not the one that filed suit against Mr.
No,
Bird.
and I'm just curious if he was on during that turmoil period. Because for me personally, I don't know if he was or not. So his name didn't come out good or bad in that situation. I was just kinda curious if he was.
And was he on the school board when we got the new addition with Roger Short?
I would say
If
so.
he was on during the state
Yeah.
episode, he was on.
He was,
that
yes,
construction.
yes, it would have been, you're right, would have been the same thing.
My hat's off to those guys, I think they made a good choice.
I think
They found a way to do it, in my mind, far more economically than any surrounding village or city did.
Absolutely.
By keeping the footprint in
They
the
did.
same place.
They definitely did.
We didn't go outside of town, have to bus everybody outside of town to some farm field. So they, hats off, they did a great job.
And they took some heat for that too,
Yes.
so,
Yeah.
you know. And I guess that's one thing that you can look at as well is 8 years on the school board. You gotta have a tough skin to, because school board's a lot like council, they're, nobody agrees with you and no matter what you do, it's not right.
Parents. Okay, that having been said, vote somebody?
Sure. Voted?
I don't know, how do we do it? We make a motion? and vote?
Make a motion to go with one, or
Yes,
is that what you're
yes,
saying?
That's,
motion.
well, I think that's the final step, yeah. And obviously it's
One
not
last, you wanna
passed.
do one last comment from everyone?
Out here, sure, let's go for it.
Wanna start this? Has it done?
Well, just, yeah, I agree 100% that we gotta think what the general population would want. They're not voting this time, they get a right to vote in November, so any of these others can run then. And I guess, is it good to have somebody more strong, that has a strong voice, or more of a quiet voice? That's kind of what it's boiled down to, that I see. So we have to decide.
I think 8 years on a school board, you gotta be tough and you gotta be wise, and if his heart's in the village of Stryker, I think Mr. Wise would make a good choice, and I'm not sure Mr. Souls is quite there yet, I guess.
Yeah.
And along your line of thought, Rick, I believe that Tracy has proven himself through 8 years on the school board. He is in town, as you pointed out, Joey. He's returned within the corporation limits. Now he can run for council. In the past, he couldn't. I would nod toward the experience at this point and welcome Mr. Souls to pull a petition, be on the ballot, and welcome him to this table if he is so elected by. I think it'd be interesting to have him at the table. I think he would bring some good ideas, but I think our position right now is Tracy is tried and true and has some history, and she's a public official at the school board. And, I could see him offering some insight in that school board and being a liaison to any interaction we may choose to have with them in the future. Like getting a big giant panther painted on that water tower. That would tie together the school.
I don't know, class of '66 looked all right up there for years.
The Batman was still.
Did you pay it?
No,
No?
I don't go that high.
And I think either one would do a nice job. I really do. My thinking right now is, I don't want someone to think inside the box all the time. Just went through a course for admins at work, and it was an all-day class, and it made you think outside the box. When we were so focused doing things that we always do, why not look at it from this angle? And I think Larry would bring that, but yet valid points with Tracy. He's been the steady, true, been proven. But I don't know if that's something that we always need, is that steady. We may need to look at it from a different angle. So that's my thoughts. Last but not least,
My gut feeling is that we would go with Larry, and I think the village people would say, okay, you had all these issues with them, why did you go to Mick? Tracy and hopefully Larry runs. We'll let the village make the call. Go to that.
Okay.
But I'm the same with Tracy.
Is somebody willing to make a motion to that effect?
You betcha. I would like to entertain the motion that we appoint Tracy Wise to fill the vacancy of the council seat, which term ends December 31st, 2017. With absolutely no disrespect to anybody else whose name is on this list. Agreed.
Good motion.
Do I have a second?
I would second that.
Is there any additional discussion? Roll call, please.
Spurling,
Yes.
Levens,
Yes.
Beck,
Yes.
Whittick,
Yes.
Wheeling.
Yes.
I hope to see Larry on the ballot in the fall.
I agree with
I agree with that, and I agree, I'd like to see a few of those others.
Adam and Tim and the rest are certainly free also, but
Well, any of them's free.
yes.
I was real happy when Joey and I ran, there were several for 2 seats. And I was, even though I was running, I was glad to see it, because I think that shows there's people interested in Stryker, and they're interested in trying, rather than just sit back and grumble about it, get up there and try to do something.
Before we close with this, I just want to say the people that turned in their names, I appreciate it.
Yes. Yeah, and can we put that in the paper somewhere or something? We really appreciate all these names, and please run in November. Otherwise, Joey and I have.
Well, I'd say it Monday and it'll get in our minutes in the paper.
Oh, it would be.
Yeah.
It would be.
Shall we call him?
I would think so.
Let's
Yeah.
call him up.
Ask if he can be here on Monday and
6
do the swear in.
6 o'clock,
Time's Monday?
13.
Like coming, having come in
Six,
early and go
really.
over the reports.
Okay.
Where it's at,
Make sure you're right.
6 o'clock. 6 o'clock, yeah.
6 p.m.
Looking forward to
You'll be on a mission trip, correct?
I will be honest, Mayor, sorry.
You will?
No, that's
13?
fine.
Yeah, okay.
I
I
came
leave
back,
at 12.
I came back from my trip.
What trip? Vacation? Oh,
I was fishing.
oh.
It was a
Mr.
mission.
Wise,
Are you fishing?
is this Mr. Wise?
So, we're.
The reason I-
Not ready here.
The reason I made it easy for the
You've been
mission
voted
Hazard.
to fill the vacant seat for
really
council.
conflict with the
Lost Creek.
I've
And
never
we're hoping you
down
can come
there,
to the
like,
meeting
parts of
Monday.
Kentucky I've seen, which is
meeting's at
Florence
6,
and Lexington,
sworn
over
in.
by Louisville, those are very, very.
Yeah,
close.
the 13th.
Okay.
And I was
Down the hall.
hoping, could you come in early by chance?
Oh, yeah, this
We
time
go
of year.
over paperwork and maybe fill out
You go in there on purpose.
paperwork that's necessary.
To the church.
Yeah,
But to
any,
rebuild some
I was thinking
porches or-
anytime,
Do anything,
Between,
you know, it's
you know,
a K
5,
through
5:30
12 Christian
yeah.
school.
I mean, I stay up here, so I'll be here.
Still burn coal.
I
Really?
just wanted to go over the
That's
reports
wonderful
with
down
you
there.
and then, you know, the paperwork you need for council,
Till 2 years ago.
fill out
Obama
for
shut all the coal mines.
councilman.
Oh,
Underground.
I would need a
Yeah, 11 strips. Strip
driver's
on top.
license and
Social security card.
social security card, form ID, student card, so
Passport works too.
passport.
Park your Cadillac, Michigan.
Picture.
Just east of Cadillac, Michigan.
That's ways.
I know where that's at. Where at?
Yeah,
Well, that's
card,
about where-
passport.
That's about where it
driver's
is.
license,
I couldn't
birth
tell you what lake it
certificate,
is.
yeah,
What lake.
birth certificate, 2 forms ID,
It's off of 150.
that's all I need,
Yeah.
so.
Fishing.
Mark's just up there this weekend too.
I think we just need a yes or a
There's
no
some, PERS paperwork, do you want to be on
to
these?
throw out here as well. I'm
So-
assuming since you're talking paperwork, that's a yes.
Huh?
I'm assuming since you're talking paperwork, that's a yes.
So you can
Oh,
get
yes,
official
I was there waiting to see if I got yes.
Well,
You're good.
With that,
Okay,
I-
so,
You
yeah, I
get-
just,
I
I
second
can go
it.
over everything
Okay.
and we can go over the paperwork and
We're adjourned?
Okay.
We are now officially
So we'll
adjourned.
see everybody
All right,
Monday night.
thank you.
Correct.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Bye.
Good job.
Shut it off.
You're out of the meeting, right, Mayor?
Yes.
Stone Ledge Lake.